All right, so we're going to look at the top 10 stocks that are running right now. First one we're on is Nvidia, and we're looking at the first light beacon on 4-hour candles. The gray is the 1-day end cap and candle that's turned into these zones, and the orange is the 1 week. Right now, honestly, don't have much to go on. We're kind of in between, chopping around. We did double tap this daily end cap here, and we got this big push up, and then we got some correction. But the problem I'm seeing right now is that we've got the daily zone here that's broke underneath the weekly zone, which is telling me bearish. Now, if you look for an example, see how this broke down, gapped down, and it stayed under, and it kept retesting the weekly zone here and just keep dropping and kept dropping and kept dropping. Finally, we got to close over the zone on a bullish level, this candle here, and pushing up, and then we gapped up on the 10th, but we broke down again underneath, and we're retesting this zone. So if you look at this, we're doing the same thing. So I would be concerned about buying right now. I would want to see price come in and tap one of these zones right here to get into any more positions on Nvidia, honestly. And I would be looking to me personally would be looking to close if we're in longs right here and you're still holding. I'm not going to hold unless this breaks over. If we can't break over this zone right here, we're more than likely going to continue going bearish. You saw this was just a grab, and then it dumped again, and then that was on the beginning of the week. So be careful with Nvidia right now. It looks like it's chopping, and we're in kind of like a downtrend on Nvidia, and I wouldn't be looking to buy anything until we start getting into these zones down here and rejecting them. And if you just look at history, these are the absorption points from the previous week or daily candles is what these are. And this is a patent pending system. So if you'd like to use it, just go to firstlightbeacon.com. Let's check out. All right, now let's take a look at Apple. Apple looks like they've just been, either the sellers are absorbing all the buyers, or they're just building positions here. And that was from the 25th. Looks like no, the 31st, November 3rd, all the way to the 11th to 10th. The only problem I see going on with Apple right now is we kind of broke away with the daily out of the weekly zone here, but it's come back and it's retesting. So if we lose this level right here, so if we lose 271.16-ish, and the zone actually breaks through, I would be worried that we're going to come down here and start to retest these levels here. So if you're looking for longs, me personally, I would be looking to buy around in here. I'd be looking to buy around in here, and or even possibly come sweep these lows here. You never know with the way things are going. But if you come back to this previous high over here, it's aligning with these zones here. So that would be what I would be watching on Apple, is to see if we're going to hold this, right? And see if this weekly gray zone here actually falls through. The daily falls through the weekly. And if it does, I would be just sitting tight on Apple for a minute until we get into one of these absorption areas down here and see if we can't get a rejection. And typically it does do really well when it does reject. If you look, the last time it rejected one and held was June 30th, and it's been running since. So they're really good zones to trade off of. Again, here's another one right here, 9:30 a.m. on April 14th, and it's been running since. And you can set alerts for these end caps on multiple assets. You just come here and then you click add alert, and then you go to symbol, whatever, all the symbols, condition, first light beacon, and then you go to end cap rejection, and it will, anything in your list that rejects one of these zones down here, you're going to get a notification. It's a really good screener for getting into assets that are ready to go. Now let's swap over to Microsoft. All right, so now let's take a look at Microsoft. We are in a range right here. We are there. It looks like we're just buying and dumping on ourselves, but we can really kind of get good entries if we are patient. These are good rejections. Microsoft is loving rejecting off these zones. So if you just set alerts for these rejections here, you're going to get some pretty good entries on Microsoft. Now, let's look at what is really going on right now. So we are consolidating. You can tell just because our daily is crossing up in and out of our weekly. But we're kind of holding it. So I'm gonna just err on caution, and I mean, if you're in a long on this, I would be looking to get out, you know, maybe up in here, maybe there. If you're intraday, if you're swing trading, it's a little different, but I'm always going to wait for the sweep of the lows and get into one of these zones here and then get to the push. And the easiest way to know if we're actually rejecting the zone or not is just go on a smaller time frame, and you'll see this beacon line go in and out of these zones here, and that'll let you know that it's ready to go. Microsoft doesn't look like it's doing much. Doesn't look like it's ready for much. I mean, there could be some news and some catalyst, but again, you really want to take entries off these rejections. But we're in a consolidation period. We're kind of bullish, but I don't know. I mean, we could easily reject this support here and then fall down into one of these major absorption areas. But then again, we could continue pushing and reject this and come down. So I'm going to sit on my hands on this one. I wouldn't be looking to do anything with Microsoft at the moment until I see it hit one of these rejections here. But yeah, all right, let's move on to Google. All right, Google is a little easier for me to look at. We are bearish. I mean, our daily zone is way under the weekly zone. Unless this pops up and breaks over here and pushes, I wouldn't consider buying Google for anything. I'm looking for it to come down and retest these areas, one of these end caps down here, before I get into any Google plays. And as you can see, we do get good rejections on Google on the weekly zones. Here it is right here. Here's another one. I kind of barely made it. We had some good rejections here, good rejections there, good rejections there. And we could probably drop into, let's check it. Let's just check. Let's check a monthly zone here and see what's going on with that. So we'll take our orange and turn it into the monthly candle. Oh yeah, look at this. We're definitely going to come in and retest this. I can't say definitely, but I'm pretty sure we're going to do it. Google likes to play off the monthly end caps. If you look at this, monthly play here, monthly play here, monthly play here, monthly play here. So I mean, things rarely change. So I would be looking to get into a Google play from 269 to like 258 and use some price action and maybe the FLB in smaller time frames to find a decent entry. But that's my take on Google this time. All right, so we're checking out Amazon real quick, and it's the same thing as Google. We're bearish, we're below here, but when I check, so the weekly, we're getting rejections, we're getting decent rejections, but when I pulled out the monthly end cap zone here, we are right on it. See that? So I would be looking for rejections at this point to buy into Amazon. That's my personal thing. Again, I'm not a licensed financial advisor, so I'm not telling you what to do, but this is just for education purposes. But this is priming for a possible buy. Now, if it doesn't reject and come back out of the zone, then obviously we're not going to do anything. But that's what I'm looking at right now is priming for a possible buy. I don't follow economics and all that crap as much as that I trade the charts, okay? And I do pretty good at it. We have filled a gap here. Almost, not completely, but we're getting into territory where you're going to find a lot of absorption going on right here. And there's going to be a ton of buyers buying up this selling and these sellers that are dropping. So we'll see. But if we can get in and back out of here, then I would be purchasing some Amazon, and then, you know, putting right here is about where my stops are going to be. And I'm going to be trying to target this high. That's personally what I would be doing. And yeah, there you go. Now let's move on to where are we going to Avgo. All right, checking out Avgo or Broadcom. We're coming out of a monthly end cap right there. See that? We're still kind of bearish, but we're coming out of it. Now let's check out the weekly. The daily is broken down underneath, obviously, but let's check out weeks, the weekly one, and see what's going on. And we're bouncing off. That could be just a consolidation point. It may be good to build positions, but being underneath this right here, it kind of scares me a little bit to build positions underneath it. Now, when you're above it like this, see that? And then we start to bounce off while we're above the super smooth here. Building positions is a good idea. And typically, you know, you're going to get a breakaway, but we had a breakaway again, and then we're creating new lows. Now, I would see for something like this, I would wait for our weekly to cross up. Our daily to cross up through our weekly and then get a rejection of one of these end caps and then look for the buy. Right now, it's just a little dangerous. just because we're under this line here and we're constantly retesting this zone here. And if this falls and we lose this right here, we're definitely going to go bearish for a little while at least. So that's my take on Broad. All right, now we're looking at Meta, and we are still on the weekly zone. Yep. So Meta is not doing so hot, and it's bearish. And we just rejected this weekly end cap here. We gapped this weekly end cap. I wouldn't be looking for buys. People are going to try to probably buy this up and come up and get in this gap fill here. It might do it and it might reject this. So my plays would be looking to sell. Maybe if it does, if the daily pushes over the weekly and we break this weekly zone here, I would be looking to buy, maybe sell here possibly, but I would go on reduced risk. And then, but I would be definitely looking for some plays off of here and here. But let's check out the monthly zone real quick and see what that's looking like. Yeah, see, so the monthly and the weekly are lining up down here. I would be looking for plays off of this area here. If not, we're probably going to start dropping down into the 380s. Honestly, I hate to say it, but if we don't reject these major zones here, the next ones, they're way down here. We might be just Meta might be in trouble, honestly. And we've got a nice trend breakdown. We've got a nice dumpster fire here, but we will see. What needs to happen is we need to see this gray come up over this orange, and then we know we've gone back bullish at that point. So right now they're buying Meta. I don't know if that's a good idea. Looking at Tesla. Tesla is rejecting a daily and a monthly end cap right here on the bullish side, but then we come up and we hit this daily end cap right here, and I don't know, let's check the weekly, see what's going on with that. Okay, so we're bearish as hell, right? We've dumped below, weekly is crossed under, daily is crossed under weekly, and we just rejected a daily end cap right here. We're still above the daily zone. This did reject, so this could just be a pullback. But again, just like the other stock, we are under the super smooth here. This is scary territory. You want to be like A+ setups are these buys off of the zones when we're above this, when we're above it, right? We start breaking below, we're starting to get into bearish territory. Now, can there be rejections and immediate pushes up? Yes, dead cat bounces. Of course there can be. But this is not hot. This is not something that I would be looking for buys right now. I would play honestly on Tesla. I wouldn't do anything, me personally, until we get into a monthly zone. And well, this is the rejection, but this isn't over. Right? We need to see beacons on smaller time frames come in and out of the zone like that. So I would be sitting on my hands. I would not be surprised if this keeps falling and comes down and interacts with this zone down here, possibly this one here, and we just get into this, you know, this kind of channel like this right here. I know people don't want to hear this, but you know, price does go up and down. And if you're looking at those grab, and then we're back in the channel, if you look at it, we're on our way down into this right here to line up with the channel. See that? So, I mean, me personally, I would not be looking to do anything with Tesla right now. All right, so we're looking at Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing. Same thing as everybody else. Well, it's looking bearish. We've got a daily below the monthly. Let's check the weekly real quick, see if we're just, you know, want to miss something important here. Should have just another one up so we can see all three instead of swapping them, but whatever. Yeah, so look, we're below weekly. Our beacon line is almost blowing back through it. We're below this. Again, I can't bring myself to even think about getting into any of these trades here unless we start breaking down and getting into some significant zones that reject. Like, I mean, where prices is reclaiming and it's accepted. Like, I can't see anything like that happening right now on these stocks that I'm showing. We'll just move on. Taiwan, I wouldn't even consider buying this. This is my advice to myself. All right, now we're looking at Berkshire Hathaway, sorry, and we are bullish right now. So I would be looking for some kind of pullback into a zone, rejecting and pushing up, and honestly, probably tackling one of these over here. If not, then I mean, it's already primed to go. So let me look at the monthly real quick while we're got it up. We just rejected a monthly end cap. So I might, you know, see, that's why you always got to look at the higher time. frames on these right here, especially if you're looking to get into holds on anything. I'm gonna say that we're probably gonna see a pullback from here. I mean, unless we just punch right through this zone, which can happen, but it's unlikely. We're gonna start to come bearish and probably come down and maybe tackle one of these if it's gonna stay in its range bound. If we continue pushing, then this would be a smart play right here, right? That would be a smart play right there. And then just, you know, hold, trail, whatever you're gonna do, and push up maybe the new daily zones. You just move your stop loss like I do under these zones right here every time a new one forms, right? I just put a stop loss there and lock in whatever gains I've got. But if we're going bearish, this would probably be the smartest move to do right here. So we're looking to buy a retest of 525-ish on Hathaway maybe. And that is my take on the top 10 stocks this week. Stay tuned for next week's, and I'll give you my opinion based on the First Light Beacon. It's the patent pending system that does what I'm showing you right now, and you can use it on lower time frames and scalp your ass off. All right, have a good one.